Hey guys, what's going on? This is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. Well guys, today we're going to do something real simple here, just a basic disassembly and cleaning of the Sig Sauer SP or Sig Pro 2009. This Sig pistol is on loan to me from Stan, the owner of SS Pawn in Lexington, Nebraska. It is part of Stan's private collection, and if you guys are looking for any firearms at all, go ahead and give Stan a call. They will definitely take care of your needs out there at SS Pawn. Great company to do business with. Alright, now for this cleaning, we're going to keep it simple. Since this is not my pistol, I won't be doing any kind of frog lube or anything real crazy to it. We're just going to use a little bit of CLP. We've got a bore brush in case we need it to do some scrubbing. A basic bore snake, which we'll try and see how well that works. Some just basic cotton patches that we bought, some Q-tips, and that's pretty much about it. So let's go ahead and check this firearm and make sure that it is in fact unloaded, and we'll get started. As you can see, we have no magazine in it. Okay, the firearm is clear. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so for disassembly on this, it's just a little bit tricky. What you're going to have to do is pull back on the slide the whole time. Alright, now while you're doing that, you're actually going to be aligning this tab right here with the takedown lever slash slide stop slash slide release. Okay, and so what's going to be going on here is while you're pulling on the back of it, you're going to have to push on this button on this side. Now, for simplicity's sake, I've enlisted the help of my wife for this one because it's not an easy chore for me. I've never done it before, so this will just make it a little bit simpler and easier to do it on camera. So she's going to use the center punch, and she's going to push on this button right here after I pull the slide back all the way, which is going to line up the tabs. You're not going to actually see that part on camera. You're just going to see the punch going through. We'll pull that piece out, and we're going to be all set to go. Okay, you ready? All right, here we go. Pull the slide back all the way. Okay, she pushes in with the punch, and the piece, you got it, good job. And the piece just pops out, and you're all set to go. That's all you have to do. So, a little bit tricky. If you're familiar with 1911s, then you should be pretty much familiar with the process. All right, let's go on to the next step. Okay, with your takedown lever slash slide stop removed, all you have to do is just push forward, and the slide will come right off. Okay, we can check out the polymer lower. Now, it is pretty dirty. It has been taken to the range, and it has been shot. So, we're going to get this all cleaned out. Okay. It's good to have some Q-tips on standby too in case you want to get into the little nooks and crannies that can be a little bit more of a pain when it comes to cleanup. Very simple assembly. You're used to this. If you've seen any other Sig Sauer pistol, obviously it's going to be similar. We do not have a captive guide rod and spring, so be careful as you remove that. Okay, we're going to spray that down and get that cleaned off. Go ahead and take out the barrel, and you can kind of examine it and look at it. It's seen a little bit of use, a little bit of love at the range, but really no big deal. I fired Sig pistols that are over 20 years old, and they run just fine. Near 30 years old for some of them. So, all right, okay, so I think the first thing that we're going to go ahead and do is just go ahead and put a little bit of CLP on a patch here, and start off by just wiping down the guide rod and the spring. You know, you don't have to go crazy when you do this. The idea is to not soak everything in oil. Very simple process. You're just basically wiping everything off. You don't want stuff greasy. The last thing you want to do is attract a lot of dust and dirt to these parts, especially the internal parts that are moving, right? All right, just go ahead and a little bit of CLP on the spring. Go ahead and wipe the spring off. I'm really excited to take this pistol to the range. I'm a huge fan. It's kind of funny. I'm the biggest Sig fanboy, right? I fired a couple different Sig ARs, a 228, a 220, a 226, and now this 2009 or 2009. And I don't actually own one, so Stan has loaned all these to me from the pawn shop, from his collection, and I think I just need to actually break down and buy one at some point. I would love to get a 229. I think they also call it the M11 or the M11A1, and they're just kind of almost like a 2/3 scale, or just like a smaller version of a 226. The one that I took out before, Stan had a West German manufacturer one that I took out, and that's just an awesome pistol. They're just very accurate. I don't know much about the new production Sigs. How reliable they are, if they have any problems, but I don't know if you guys have complained about extractor issues on the 226s, which is kind of interesting because they've been making that gun for quite a while. Yeah, it gets a little slick, no big deal. Okay, go and wipe that out a little bit. Pretty easy to clean off. Stuff just comes right off. You can see all that spent powder that comes off with it. Another place you definitely want to get is up here on these notches. This really gets gunked up with spent powder and so on. Excellent barrel. The lands and grooves look really good inside of it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just put a little bit of CLP down the barrel, let that just soak for a little bit as we continue wiping off the barrel. Okay, just kind of let that soak. We'll run the bore snake through it a couple times and get it cleaned out, but it was, I can see some definite residue in there, so it's going to need a nice cleaning. Okay, we got that all taken care of. And now for the slide, we'll go ahead and just put a little bit of CLP on a patch. Again, you can use rem oil if you want to. For this, since we've got just so much steel on steel movement here, just because it's, we're talking very mechanical, I like to use CLP for parts like that. I tend to use my rem oil as more of a preservative for when I get done with the range. On the outside of the gun especially, but for this I want to give it a good cleaning, nice thorough scrubbing, get it all taken care of. You want to get in those channels in there, and we'll definitely hit that with the Q-tips. Probably do that off camera. I don't think you need to see me do that, but you can tell it's definitely in need of a good cleaning, I'll tell you that. A few more things about the SP2009. There was different versions of them that were sold, and this one's a full-time double action pistol. Okay, it has no decocking lever on it. Has no safety on it except for the one between your ears and the safeties that are built into it, the drop safeties and all that fun stuff. Kind of similar to what, the 250 or the 320, one of those two models. A lot of lineage shared between them, obviously. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and grab ourselves a Q-tip here. This one's got real deep channels in the slide. It's such a tall slide that you want to get down in there and wipe out any gunk or gook. Well, this is definitely coated pretty good. Get in there and wipe that all out, clean it, get around the extractor area. And it's interesting when you get into that, you can see how much the design has evolved from something going back to like 1998 or 1999 when this pistol came out. I want to say it was the late 90s. If I'm wrong about that, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty much when it was. Great engineering that goes into these very robust pistols. I do love them. And it's kind of funny. When it comes to these things, you're like, man, why do these things cost, $900? And you might say, oh, it's just the name. You're just buying into the name. You're getting a lot of gun for the money. You're getting a good lineage. You're getting something that's going to last you a long time, like any other pistol, right? The fact that these are used by military definitely is a bonus in terms of whether or not, if you should trust the brand or trust the model of pistol itself. And so when you look at them, it's almost kind of reminds me of a sports car, You can get by with lesser pistols, you can get by with slower cars. But if you have a chance to take a sports car out for a test drive or take a nice handgun to the range, why not? Just enjoy it, right? It's pretty much how I feel about it. When you get a chance to actually try it, then you realize that, man, this is definitely worth every dime you pay for it. So enough of my little zen in the art of Sig Sauer cleaning, right? It looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. There's not too much buildup going on over here. I like to get in over by the extractor also. A little extractor hook right here. There we go. Okay, good to go. Now, I bet we'll wipe off the outside of it too here when we get done. I don't know what the finish is that they use on these, but it seems to be pretty durable. I mean, it's definitely nice and slick, almost kind of self-lubricated. I should probably change it this time. We're going to go ahead and spray out your lower receiver with just some rem oil. I don't like to use CLP because it tends to get a little bit thick, and the last thing you want to do is gunk up the trigger mechanism and so on. So just a good spray of rem oil in there, which will have a nice dry but lubricated coating as soon as you're done with it. Once you're finished cleaning it, it's a little dirty. It's not too bad. It's all cleaned out. Now this one, we don't really have a way to cock back the hammer, so we're just going to hold on to it with our thumb. Press back on it and get all that residue out of there from all those rounds that have been fired through it. Go. It's clean. You can also use a toothbrush when you do this too. Now this is just an initial cleaning. We're going to be going to the range with this pistol, and when I get done with it, after I bring it back, I'll give it a definitely good thorough cleaning too, so it's ready to go. I also like to take a Q-tip and just go through the rails on the sides of it, the tracks that your rails go on, your slide. Give that a good scrub, because you'll be surprised what builds up on that when you do. Everybody kind of has their own way that they like to clean pistols. A lot of guys use a minimal amount of gun oil, lubricant, CLP, stuff like that. A lot of people just soak them. You really don't need to. I try not to put too much on there. For one thing, it's not my pistol, so I mean, I obviously don't want to do anything to it. And two, you just want to use a minimum on the moving parts, and that's basically it. So, all right, now last thing I'm going to do, and you're going to probably think I'm crazy here. Let's see where that's at. We're going to go ahead and just take this cleaning rod, plastic cleaning rod, just spray it with some rem oil. And I like to go through the magazine well because you can just get debris and gunk that can build up over time, especially on a pistol here that's, going on close to 20 years old. believe it or not, from the late 90s, this pistol. If I can get this threaded. Here we go. Okay, let's see here. Alright, now we're good. Okay, so just go ahead and take and just run it through the handle. Just get that all cleaned out. I know it seems kind of crazy, but you'll be surprised how dirty that is. I mean, look at that. There's actually some carbon on there. A little bit of spent powder on there from just years and years of use. Kind of give it a good scrubbing. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Okay, we're okay there. Okay, so we've just kind of gone through the whole thing, and you can see there's been a decent amount of spent powder that's come off on it. Now at this time, what I like to do is just give it a little bit of extra lubricant on the high stress parts, your parts that see a lot of movement. So just a little bit on the top of the rail, inside. Really, these are the only metal contact points, and you can see where the finish is worn off. It's pretty obvious where. Here we go. You can see where you've got your metal on metal contact, right? Okay, give that a little bit of cleaning. And you can always consult your user manual if you don't know, right? If you're not 100% sure. So, okay guys, we're going to kind of clean this area up here just a little bit, and we come back, we'll clean the barrel, and then we'll do some reassembly, so hang tight. Okay guys, since this is a fairly old pistol, we're going to go ahead and take my little copper brush, or my little brass brush that I have here, and we're just going to go from the back to the front. Just go ahead and give it a good scrub, because I have no idea how many rounds have been put through this, or when the last time it was cleaned, and so on. Okay, you can kind of look down it if you want to, and you can see that it looks decent, looks pretty good. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and get that bore snake. Now, I've started using bore snakes recently just because they're a bit of a time saver. I know they're really not 100% good substitute for a cleaning rod and a good solvent and so on, but no, I seem to work really well. I use them in my AR, my AK, my other pistols. This is just a Hoppies or Hops, however you pronounce it, bore snake, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And all we have to do is just put a little bit of lubricant on the front of it, in front of these little bristles right here that are going to clean the bore itself. So just a little shot of it in the front there. Okay, there we go. By the way, you can put these in a mesh bag and wash them with like your work clothes or socks or underwear and so on. It's really no big deal. Then you're going to put just a little bit of lubricant after, okay? So what it's going to do is it's going to pre-treat it, it's going to scrub it, and then it's going to go ahead and give it a protective coating, okay? Now again, when this is all said and done, you can go over this with a patch if you want to. Let's go ahead and pull it through. Very simple. You can go 2-3 times, check it out. If you still see any kind of buildup or residue in there, just take it through again. That's all you got to do. These run about 10 bucks. Walmart sometimes has them on sale, especially at the end of like the summer or the hunting or shooting season. Grab it and just pull through. Here we go. Check the bore. That's nice and clean, nice and shiny inside. I can get that in focus for you guys. There we go. She's good to go. All right. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and come back for a little bit of reassembly, and then we will just wipe the mags off, and we're going to be good to go. Alrighty. So just go ahead and take your barrel and just put it back in the slide. Okay. Make sure it's nicely seated, it's back in place. Okay. Now again, you don't have a captive guide rod spring, which means that this could potentially launch itself off. So you want to be a little bit careful with it, but it's not too difficult. You're just going to take it and just push it back into here. And after you do that, you're going to want to push the guide rod through. This part can always be just a little bit tricky because you got some pressure going on there. But this is such a big beefy slide. There's just a huge notch here. When it's all said and done, this is what it should look like. Okay, nice and flat guide rod going all the way across. If you have something at an angle this way or this way, you've got some issues. And when it's all done, when you cycle it, you should obviously be able to pull the slide back all the way without anything catching and so on. Again, if you've ever done a 9mm pistol before, this really isn't that much different. All right, let's go ahead and put the slide back on the lower receiver, the lower. Okay, so all you got to do is just go ahead and put your slide back on your lower. Make sure nothing catches, okay? And then what you're going to want to do is pull the slide back all the way. You're going to want to take your slide stop, and it's basically going to just feed right through and push all the way through, okay? And when it snaps, you'll have your little button back on this side. So it's not too hard to do. Hopefully I can do this one by myself. If I practiced with this pistol a little bit more, I might have been able to do the disassembly on my own. But so what we'll do, let's go ahead and zoom back here for you. There we go. Cool. All right, we'll go ahead and just pull back on the slide. Let's see, we're just going to go ahead and set it here. Okay, it's going to pull back all the way right here. Just hold it like this. Get a nice grip on it. And your little tab here, it has to be lined up just perfectly with the barrel. There you go. Go ahead and push that through. You hear it snap. Again, just make sure that it's all aligned. If you have the barrel pushed back too far or too far forward, this little piece is not going to go through. Slowly release the slide. There we go. And if you check the other side, you should see your little button from your takedown lever right here. Okay, and then you're all set to go. Go ahead and check the action. Nice and smooth. Go ahead and pull the trigger a couple times. You can dry fire. Check the reset. Not bad. Oh, no, take that back. You do have to go out all the way, don't you? Because of the full-time double action trigger pull. So used to single action. All right, there we go. Not bad, guys. Okay, so there you go. That is the, in a nutshell, cleaning of the SP 2009. To take care of the magazines, all we're going to do is just spray a little bit of Rem oil on some patches here, and then just go ahead and wipe them off. Again, you can do magazine disassemblies if you want to. I'm not gonna, because these seem to be in pretty good shape and they don't appear to be too dirty. Just again, just go and wipe them off a little bit. I've got 3 of them I got to clean off here, so I'm just going to do a couple of them here on camera. Just give a nice protective coating so they're ready to go to the range. Okay, here we go. Guys, we'll be getting this out to the range for a range test shortly. Hopefully this weekend we'll be doing some filming. It's supposed to be nice out. Weather's going to hold out for me, even though it's November in Nebraska, and we tend to start getting snow about this time. This will be a fun little pistol to definitely take out. I'm looking forward to it. I love SIGs, new or old, it doesn't really seem to matter. They're just very cool pistols. It's just got a wicked design. I just absolutely love it. So there you go. Okay, guys, so that is the disassembly and cleaning of the Sig Sauer SP 2009. And again, this is on loan to me from Stan, the owner of SS Pawn, part of his private collection. And we'll get it out there. So guys, if you like what you saw, please like or subscribe. You can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm also on gunchannels.com with my weekly podcast called Caliber Corner, which I host every Saturday at 8 a.m. And you can also support me over on Patreon with patreon.com/TravisP11. So hopefully you guys will support the channel. And I hope to bring you more videos in the future. So there you go, guys. Have a great week. All right, as you know, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.